Welcome back to the Pickin Hockey Podcast, episode number 16. We're back in office. No more Zoom. We hate Zoom. Well, I hate Zoom personally, but we're back in person. Boys, how do we feel?
So good. Can't wait to not interrupt everyone over and over again.
No latency.
Yeah.
I think that was the worst part of Zoom is when like you both talk at the same time and then you both go quiet for like 3 seconds and then you're like, you go, and then the other guy says you go, and then it's just really awkward.
It's like holding a door open.
Yeah.
There's two doors. You're just like, nah, you go, you walk.
A little definitely easier talking in person for sure. Avery, you probably prefer Zoom, don't you?
I like working from home. I have no problems with it. I've said it before, and I'll say it again. I enjoy it.
All right. Big news comes out. Evander Kane signs with the Oilers.
You do say Evander weird. Someone
Evander?
called you. Yeah, you say it odd.
Is it Evander or Evander? I guess I kind of.
It's Evander.
Yeah, that's probably why. I probably have an E. It's French school again. Because in French, we spell our A's and E's a little different. Well, we say our A and E's a little different.
It's the easiest name to say. You can't. There's no reason for you to fuck up Evander.
Maybe we should get him on the pod and get
Evander.
him to clarify.
Yeah.
So
Bilingual?
I lost my French pretty much. So
You lost English too.
He's over
pretty much
too.
is a double fucking whammy because I went to a full French school. They didn't teach me English. And then I left in grade 6 because literally I was like, okay, are you guys going to teach me English? And then they didn't. So I went to an immersion, and then immersion, they just it's just English class, but they try and teach you French. Like I was pretty advanced. And then I went to high school. There's no full French high school in Georgetown. It's in Mississauga. So I went to immersion again. I went to extended French, and then I just started to lose my French. My dad gives me shit ever since because I lost it.
You learned English in high school, pretty much.
Pretty fucking much. So every
It's your
time,
second language.
every time, I'm obviously I still have like French ground, like a base is French, but. When I'm talking, like I'll say the French version sometimes. Like it's just the way I talk. Okay?
It happens 1 in 100 times you talk.
It's like I'm really like. It's like I'm slow. Like if a Montreal guy came over and started speaking to me, I'd understand him, but I'd probably have to take like 2 to 3 minutes to really soak it in. That's where I'm at with my French. It's unfortunate. I used to test myself like at my old job. My boss would be like, there's someone from Montreal calling, and I would just take the call, and it would just be an absolute disaster. Me trying to speak French with them. But
All right.
anyways, let's get into
That's the
it.
basis of your trial. It's nice to find out.
That's correct. People need to understand, right? They're commenting saying, you're saying this guy's name wrong. Well, I'm not trying to. It's just my history is the issue. I'm trying to fix it.
That's why we want to do for the next trivia, like pronunciations. But everyone else would be good, but it would just be to like make fun of you. So
Yeah, well, it'd be a first round exit every time. That's the issue.
I think the
Because I know you'd
pronunciations-
pick the ones that like you'd get me on the French. You'd completely get me. You could probably pick the names. But anyways, Kane signs with Edmonton. Literally.
Why did you not say his first name?
I don't. Evander Kane. I can say his name.
Yeah.
I was. This goes way. I was actually confused because someone did comment on that episode and said you're spelling names wrong. I was like, what names are we talking about?
They were 2 very English names. It was Evander Kane and maybe a blues player.
I think though. Well, I personally thought I said them right. And that's why I responded. I was like, which names? And then there was no response.
I know
now
you
I'm
responded.
realizing I was saying Evander Kane's name wrong.
Yeah, you were.
Makes sense now. I appreciate it, though, when the viewers call me out. Like, it just keeps me accountable. I'm learning. Fuck, an old age, I'm learning. But anyways, Evander Kane signed with the Oilers. Literally, I think 2 minutes after the NHL concluded their investigation. Also, let's talk about this. I sent it to Avery when I first saw it, but that TSN interview, did you guys see that clip they posted?
That was not great. That was not a great.
I literally started like laughing and I sent it to Ave. I was like, this clip is actually hilarious. Like Evander Kane said, like literally said nothing. Like she was trying to ask like what was it? It was
they said he tested positive for COVID, and then that same week he was in Vancouver, and the lady asked him, like, is this true? Like, were you allowed to fly? He said,
I can't
really talk
about
it.
Yeah, he goes, I can't say, I can't like talk about it. And then he goes, do you think you did anything wrong? He's like, no, I do not. He's like,
What's being reported in the media isn't exactly true, is what he said.
And then literally, like, I think 20 minutes later, the NHL concludes their investigation. It was really weird. It was like that interview. I think that TSN, I told Avery this morning, I think TSN had like a little bit of insider information that they were going to conclude this investigation. And that interview, like, already was filmed. And they're like, well, we can't release this after this goes out or else it's irrelevant. Yeah. So, I mean, it turns out apparently Evander like wanted her to come down and tell a side of the story, but it must have been filmed like a week or 2 weeks ago.
I think even just the way she was asking questions, it was like, so Evander, you're a scumbag. Can you speak on that?
It was a little.
He's like, what do you want me to say?
People were saying it was more of like interrogation.
Than
interview.
It was like I get where she was coming from in it because like the shit that's been said about him is like really bad.
Yeah.
But it was like very much. It was like, yeah, you're a terrible person. Can you explain why you're such a bad guy? That was basically all the questions.
Then let's like what he was being accused of, like, well, like, what are we gonna suspend him? Like, okay. One, it's not the NHL's job to even suspend him on that case. That would be like Canada.
Which one? Oh, the COVID thing?
Yeah.
But I think protocols are in place. I guess you're right. Like,
I know what you mean, though. If you break the technically they could suspend you, but I mean, like, this is more of an issue.
One of their
with
protocols should be you have to fucking follow country's rules.
Yeah,
I feel like maybe that should be mixed in there. Yeah. If it's just Canada and the U.S., the rule shouldn't be that bad.
Because I guess Canada would just fine you.
Yeah, and he's got some money.
He's got money.
Right? No, I thought
he has no money.
I thought he has no money.
Oh shit,
he's in serious debt.
Yeah. That whole saga this year has been insane. The amount of stuff that's happened to Evander Kane in the last 12 months is crazy.
Has to have aged him a decade in this 1 year.
I'm interested to see how he's going to be. Like,
we've talked about him pretty much like every other podcast. There's something new that's come out about him that he's messed up or done.
But goddamn, is he good at hockey?
Yeah, he can play.
Is he even on the first line power play with like McDavid and Draisaitl? Or is he going to slot in?
He didn't play. I feel like he has to. Who else do they have? Yeah. He's got to be that net front guy.
That would be disgusting.
So now going back when McDavid's comments are about Evander Kane playing, imagine he like rips the guy and then he's just on your team the next week. I think one of you guys brought it up. His comments aren't that bad now. Like, he's on your team.
Yeah.
Sure, like what he said was true, so the media can kind of fuck off with that.
Yeah, the way the media was trying to show that was like, they're trying to win. Like, it's also business.
Yeah, so everyone's a social justice warrior now.
Yeah,
and you have to be to get ahead of it.
Part of it too is like, he's not a businessman. He's like, he's literally some guy who's like 24 years old. And he's like, I just want to win a hockey game.
Yeah, all he knows is playing hockey.
Right?
Do you think that moves the needle at all for Edmonton?
They're saying now, because they made that signing, that they're for sure gonna they need a goalie.
Yeah,
they're for sure gonna go after a goalie.
You can Fleury, right?
Yeah, like Koskinen for Fleury type of deal. That seems like I don't know. That team cannot be. I think when they started off hot, they were clearly not like that good, but they're also not like this bad.
Yeah, I was listening to Chicklets and they said the same thing. When you're hot, you're never as hot as you are, but when you're like bad, you're usually not as bad as you're playing. So it's all just like finding the middle ground. Most teams will find their middle ground. They'll end up how they should be in the end. But in a division that kind of close, they're gonna be fine.
They're like, I thought when they were like on the huge losing streak, I was like, fuck, they must be like literally going like they're not even close to playoffs. And then I look at like they're so like 1 week turnaround and they can be like easily there.
I think the West isn't that good this year, and the Pacific is really bad this year. So they can find themselves in a top 3 spot like by accident.
Yeah, like Anaheim and LA, like I put the Oilers ahead of them as a better team.
Yeah.
They got him for what, 2.1, right? Like, it was Evander Kane.
Yeah,
they got him for 2.1.
It like rounds up to like 2.1 because of all the signing bonuses and stuff.
That's pretty cheap for him too. Like, you can still do some stuff at the deadline. Like, you're not signing. Like, you're getting a guy that's disgusting for not that much.
Yeah.
No, for sure. I think the Oilers. It'll be interesting to see. I'm excited to see him on the ice.
They need a little bit of fucking jam.
They need a little. Yeah, they need a little.
He could be a motherfucker on the ice too.
Oh yeah.
It'll be interesting to see how he reacts if the team like still sucks. Is like, because Evander Kane doesn't give a shit.
I mean, San Jose was dog awful last year.
Best case scenario for the Oilers is Kane goes out, scores a goal like his first game with them, and then it's immediately like there's the media pressure on that takes it off. If he doesn't have a good first game, then like it's gonna pile on and it's gonna take so much to get it off him. But if he gets that goal the first game, I think that'll like help the team kind of like, okay, monkey off our back a little bit. We got a guy who's gonna help us out.
Yeah, people forget quickly.
Yeah.
If you're scoring goals.
Oh yeah, if your team's winning, no one gives a fuck.
shit.
Yeah.
What's going on?
Yeah. Let's talk about Aaron fucking Dell.
You nailed that name.
Yeah.
that
Fuck
was
this guy.
Oh yeah,
I'm a Sens
fan.
fan.
Forgot.
So Drake Batherson obviously got fucking clocked by Aaron Dell. I'm guessing you guys probably have seen the hit.
Yeah.
I've seen that.
Okay. Drake Batherson apparently was his dream to go to the All-Star game. Thought I would just add that, but
What
Definitely,
injury
didn't,
did he
definitely
have?
didn't deserve to go, in my opinion.
no, the whole rule thing with one player per team is dumb. So
Stupid.
now T'Chaka is going replacing him because it has to be from the same team, right? Because they didn't have an Ottawa representative. The question is becoming like, it was like a couple people were talking about it, is should goalies be fair game if they leave the crease to hit?
Are they like in the rule book?
You can't like
If you hit a
can't
goalie,
hit them.
no, you can't ever really make contact. I think though there should be like a mutual thing. I think there is like it's a little unwritten. A goalie typically doesn't hit a player because a player can't hit a goalie.
Yeah.
So it's like that should be how it is. They should both be not fair game. The Aaron Dell thing I think is a really big extreme because he like stuck his elbow out at him.
That was
so dirty.
I don't understand why he did that.
He's done it before too.
Yeah, he's done
like
it
you've
a
seen
couple
there's a
times.
bunch of like 4 or 5 times he's done it.
Because as a player, you are not expecting that's coming unexpectedly. Like you're just, and then you could tell.
Batherson was like the way he skated in. He was like really close to the boards at that speed. I think it also more caught him off guard.
Yeah, I think
And
so
like,
too.
yeah,
so
you're
if,
expecting that.
if that's a D-man, he was in stride when he got hit. If it's a D-man, he's cutting, so his body turns towards the board and he can slow down his speed.
Yeah.
Because it's a goalie, he's like,
It makes it more dangerous.
I'm not making contact when I'm going in, so I'm going to leave myself vulnerable. Like, yeah, it becomes more dangerous. So, I don't know. I honestly would suspend Aaron Dell more games than 3.
So your question was, should you be able to hit a goalie if he's out of the crease?
Yeah.
Think about football. Quarterbacks, once you become a runner, different rules apply, right?
Yeah.
Once you leave the pocket, you're past the line of scrimmage, different rules apply. I think if you're fucking outside of the circles, like you're closer to the blue line, you have to be like ready to go. People get hurt even if the goalies come out, and then obviously you have a forward skating towards the puck. He kind of goes over, the goalie flips over him. It's dangerous for the goalies too.
Yeah.
You got to be. I think there's not a bad idea because as you're a player at that point, it'll stop the goalies from coming out, making those kind of dangerous plays.
Yeah.
So maybe I'm biased as I play in that, but you can't brace for a hit if you're a goalie.
But you have technically though you have more equipment, more protection.
It looks that way, but it's like because of the way you're so bulky, when you take the hit, you can't like absorb it. So
Yeah.
you're taking more of the brunt of it.
Do you remember the Lucic Ryan Miller one? Like,
Yeah.
he comes
Yeah.
out to play the
That
puck.
happens
what
a
do you-
lot
what do
when
you
you're
do?
both
Like, if
going
you're a
out.
goalie, you just have to stay in net, like, or you just like, what's the solution?
I don't know. I like there's some levels to it where I get like you have to make a play on the puck. It's I think like if a goalie's behind the net playing it, like you can give him like a bump or a shove, but you can't hit like.
Yeah.
There's a difference between like a house league, a little shove that's not a hit, and making actual body contact. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So if a goalie goes out behind the net to play the puck and a guy like bumps into him, that's one thing. The issue is you get a guy like Mike Smith. If you
Oh, man,
Yeah.
that's
breathe
insane.
on Mike Smith out of the crease, his helmet ends up in the crowd.
Guy's
If
a
you-
psycho.
If you touch a goalie though, like that's the biggest repercussions. Of
Yeah.
goalie
Yeah.
hockey.
No,
Like,
yeah.
Did you see the other day Foligno and Gibson went at it, and like Foligno just got jumped afterwards because like you can't touch a goalie.
Yeah, no. That's the one thing I think that causes like the biggest scrums is when you clock a goalie.
Oh, yeah.
Everyone just wants like going for heads.
The worst is when it's like a one-on-one and the D-man and the forward are like neck and neck, and then the D-man shoves the forward
yeah.
into the goalie, and the D-man goes, "Why'd you get on my goalie?" and starts beating the shit out of him more.
I hate that.
It's one of the things you learn from a young age, though, is like if you're 6 years old, the coaches tell you once the goalie covers the puck, you just turn around, stand in front of them, and like make sure no one touches. Like that is instilled in you at a very young age. Don't let anyone touch your goalie.
Yeah, always protect the goalie. But hey, I think it would be exciting to see. I would want hitting. I would really like to block a goalie.
I love it when goalies lay the body. Like there's a couple of those Aaron Dell hits where he nailed a guy from Minnesota a couple weeks, like a while back. Yeah. They're so fun because they have so much mass because of the pads. So if you get a good run at a player, you can absolutely knock a guy.
It's wild. I hope. I mean, it sucks that this happened. I mean, it was a dirty play.
I think if you tell goalies they can be hit, they stop going to hit other people.
Yeah,
I agree.
I agree.
Fuck this.
Yeah,
that's not fun.
Yeah. Let's talk a little bit of Olympic here. Canada announced their team. What do we think of the roster? Everyone's probably gotten a chance to take a little peek there. 2 World J players, right? Playing.
Sillinger and McTavish?
Owen Power.
Sorry,
yeah, McTavish. Were you surprised with those picks, or did you think more World Junior players should have been picked for this team?
I mean, some of those kids on that team have to be better than Daniel Winnick. Like, you know what I mean?
I didn't realize Daniel Winnick was still playing. I thought he retired 3 years ago.
I read through his whole Wikipedia the other day because I was just like, where the hell has Daniel Winnick been?
David Darnay's on that team too, right?
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. It's going to be really interesting. Do we think that like they actually have a chance of winning?
It's hard to know how they stack up, right?
You got to think Russia is going to be really good.
I mean, you have NHL players playing in Russia, right? And I don't want to get into the whole political thing, but I feel like the Russian players are going to have probably a better rapport with the Olympic organizers than the Canadian American teams would. I'd be a little under the table dealings to like, you know, China knows they're not going to win the gold, so they're like, hey, Russia, like make sure Canada doesn't win. Canada, the U.S. doesn't win.
Are you guys gonna watch?
I'll watch.
I have to watch.
It's like horrendous times, right?
Well, I guess the NHL's still going to be going on too, so it's not.
I'll probably like watch. I probably
if I can catch a game.
I mean, if the games are on while we're at the office, of course we watch them on.
Yeah.
Did you watch the last Olympics? Like I didn't watch.
I woke up at 5 o'clock once. Then I pitched like shit that game, and I didn't wake up for any of the other games.
I'll watch. It will be interesting to see what the vibe is. I think it's gonna be horrendous, but
the only guy that really gets me fired up is like Eric Stahl. Love it.
Yeah, Eric Stahl.
And then like Josh Hosang.
Hosang.
That's gonna be fun.
So that's another guy that he thanked Dubas for giving him an opportunity because now he'll get to show it at the Olympics. But do we think that he gets a chance in the NHL if he really impresses at this tournament?
Someone's got to be real desperate for a depth scoring winger. Like I can't who's the team who's like right up against the cap? Like maybe Pittsburgh.
What would he have to do to even get he would have to absolutely light it up.
Yeah, he'd have to do like a borderline tournament MVP because he's doing like pretty good in the AHL. He's at like 20 points in 27 games or something. He's not like saying like, oh, I'm clearly too good for this league.
Yeah, so, that's a guy with lots of talent who just never really got an opportunity.
People were a wild move.
Comparing him to Evander Kane, right? How we've talked about this. They're just two totally different situations, too.
No.
One guy just showed up late a couple times, and the other guy get in trouble with the law.
He seems like one of those like all tools, no toolbox guys, where like when he shows those glimpses of being good, you're like, this guy's crazy, but he just can't do it consistently.
I always think the fact that he wore 66 is so insane to me. Just like out of left field, decide to come to the NHL and put on 66 just to ruffle feathers.
Rockstar shit. If it works out, but it clearly didn't.
What do you think Power will do?
It's going to be it'll be interesting to see how he performs because obviously we saw the World Juniors where the 2 games or whatever, he was amazing. Yeah. But this will be like his first maybe taste at big boy hockey.
Yeah, maybe he won't score as much this tournament, but I don't think he's going to be overmatched.
He should be the best player on that team.
Yeah, he's an NHL level player, playing on a team full of non-NHL.
I would say he's borderline, like, again, because you're saying he hasn't played like real big boy hockey, but he's probably up there as one of the best players in the entire tournament.
Yeah. I mean, we're talking about the China national team here. Power should do well against them, but so their team is like, they posted their roster. I took a look this morning. They're full of KHL players from Canada. I don't know. I don't know what the rules
is this
are.
like, shit! Is it like Spencer Fu? Is that on that team? And like a couple
Is it
of those
the guys who play for like Kunlun Red Star?
Yeah.
Wait, what?
So
Yeah.
they must get because Nigel Dawes is from Kazakhstan, right?
Yeah.
Like all just because he played there, I think.
Yeah.
So it must be something. And if you play for the team, you're a resident at the time.
I think the rule is if you play for an IIHF team, you can only play for that team. But if you don't, then you're like free to sign somewhere else. So those guys must be getting granted like some citizenship.
Yeah.
Like I think it's more of a thing you see in soccer because soccer national tournaments are way bigger. But there's I hope I'm not mixing somebody up, but there's a guy named Jorginho, which is a very Brazilian name.
Yeah.
But he plays for the Italian national team. But he played for Brazil before. So, like, this is probably like some established international thing.
These guys are just going to play hockey in China, getting a Chinese like citizenship, and then playing on the national team in China.
Yeah.
That's how this is working.
Yeah. It would be interesting.
insane.
It would be like if you did research on every team in their roster, what actually is the percentage of players who were born in Canada? I feel like it would be more than you think. Think about people who play Europe.
Think about soccer again. All the Ivory Coast players can play for France, right?
Are they allowed to?
I pretty
guess,
sure
yeah,
that-
because you get French citizenship.
Yeah. So
everyone who's playing hockey, there's a lot of Canadians who go there.
Yeah. It's kind of the other way around.
International.
There's some guys where it's the other way around too. Like Robin Regeer was born in Brazil. He played for Canada, and same with Danny Heatley. I think he's Germany.
Yeah.
And he played Canada.
Nylander was born in Canada too.
Plays for Sweden.
Plays for
Those are
Sweden.
fun.
Yeah.
Those are fun. I like those.
It's interesting to see that. It's kind of, I don't know. I think that's kind of cheating the system personally. But
Well, if they have
do you want to watch?
I want to watch.
No. Do you want to watch real Team China play hockey?
Honestly, the fact that it's honestly, the fact that it's in China is kind of a slap in the face to their like they have to have 22 hockey players who are from China.
There's so many people there.
I would cut it off. I would cut it off if like your parents are like your parents were born in China and you were born in Canada.
Yes.
That's that's totally fine, right?
Yeah.
But it's like if you're just like, hey, I'm Bill Smith from Saskatchewan, I play in China. Like, no, you're not.
That's
Bill
what's
Smith
happening.
can't
Been there
play
for 8 months.
China.
That's what's happening.
Is there any like notable names on the team that you know off the top of your head?
No, I looked at a couple elite prospects of like a couple guys, and I was like, this guy's just not like, he just should be on Team Canada. And like the team, I think the team in the KHL is horrendous because the one guy searched up was a minus 38 in 40 games.
Chris
so
Chelios' son.
What? Brandon Yip.
Oh, Brandon Yip's
He's
actually good. He's a hockey player.
He's actually like I'm pretty sure like that was a big deal when he went on over and played in China.
Jeremy Smith.
Jeremy Smith. He's the one I searched up. He's the one I searched up.
He played for the Bruins, I think, right? He was on the Bruins at some point, I'm pretty sure.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, Spencer Fu is also like actually from Asian descent, and he's playing on this team.
Are they going to be the worst team? I'm guessing. Who else would be really bad? Does anyone know?
Team like England or something in there? Like I can't imagine.
Yeah, I don't.
Do you remember Team England in the World Championships? They celebrated a win by saying like we're shit and we know we are. They beat some dog shit team.
That's insane. That
Here's the. We'll put it up on the screen here. Here's the full roster.
I like that they have all the Chinese spellings of the names, and it's like here's Jeremy Smith,
Jake Chelios.
Like I can believe some of these names. I don't want to embarrass myself, but like Zhang Zhudong, I guess like that. Okay, that's a Chinese player, but Corey Kane.
Yeah,
Ethan Warwick.
Imagine that dressing room.
They're just kind of mixing them in. Paris O'Brien.
Why do they call it Red Star Hockey, Ed? Can you scroll up a little bit? Like what account tweeted this?
Oh, that's the team. Why
that's
is
the team?
25 of the players are Team China.
Okay, so 25 of the KHL team's players are.
That's got to be.
that's
the
a
whole
full
Wait,
roster.
so it's
They took
took the Kunlun team.
Yeah, they took the entire team.
That I guess that makes that makes sense. I guess they have a rapport with each other.
I mean, I guess it's not
Their
going to make
locker room's
a
gonna be
difference.
fucking sick. It's rock. They all love each
I
other.
mean, that team is pretty shit.
They might
though,
actually
I
like.
think.
What if they're
let's
good
check-
though? They got chemistry.
Eddie will check their record here if you go.
Pretty
Let's
sure.
see.
I've seen them play before. They're
Red
awful.
Star. This team.
Who was their coach? Craig McTavish was their coach 2 years ago too.
I love that these like hard ass NHL coaches like Mike Keenan and Craig McTavish will go coach in like the KHL in China.
Because they're allowed to still coach that way.
Like they can do whatever they want.
You search up the countries in hockey.
Yeah, countries in hockey.
What is that? Like the teams that are playing?
Yeah, like I want to see that.
There's got to be a couple countries that are just like, we're not going to put in a team.
Didn't Canada blow up a team 18-0 in like 2014? When they sent the NHL players, they won like 18-0. I swear.
Probably. I mean, there's definitely some teams in the that make it into the Olympics because it's a bigger pool than World Juniors. No, like there's more teams. So like there's some teams that have no business being there. Yeah, Japan. That's women's. That's just women's.
Oh. Okay, so
just side note here.
It's kind of World Juniors.
Like I don't know, Latvia.
Talking about women's hockey for a second. Me and Johnny kind of went down a rabbit hole on Haley Wickenheiser the other day. Dude, she played men's hockey in Finland.
I did not know.
Yeah, she played Tier 3 in Finland.
Isn't there also a female goalie who plays men's?
She played in like the one you're talking about was that I think it was Phil Esposito was the GM in Tampa in like the early 2000s, and for a preseason
or something was her last name.
Yeah, for a preseason game, I'm pretty sure it was.
She
played like one game. It was from my guess purely a publicity stunt to grow hockey.
I think Phil Esposito.
She didn't do bad though. She wasn't terrible.
Phil Esposito actually like cares about women's hockey though. Like I think he has like some kind of stake in.
The league there.
Yeah.
Oh, so he's wetting his own pee.
Well, like I don't know if it's that. Like I think like he actually like he
China being in this group is
God. U.S., China, Canada, and Germany is Group A.
Who made these groups? They're so imbalanced.
Yeah, this is horrendous.
I love that it's the ROC now.
Yeah.
I love that.
Because they're still suspended, right?
Yeah.
How much longer is that going on for?
I think it was two winter, 2 summer Olympics.
Oh my God, that's a long time.
I mean, their whole commit. I don't know how much you guys know about the whole doping thing they did, but it was like so crazy the levels they went.
Fuck, what's that Netflix documentary on it?
Icarus.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, great. That's such a classic film. I love
that. That's an awesome. You should watch that, Jerry.
Yeah.
You'd like that.
I'm not a big doc guy, but once I'm in it, I'm a doc guy.
I mean, you just see the guy in the first 5 minutes, he's just fucking sticking a needle in his ass.
Jesus.
And then he talks about the guy. So he gets some Russian.
Why would I like that?
This is film review.
Yeah. So there's this Russian doctor who is helping this random guy. He's a cyclist and he wants to start doping.
Yeah.
Right. But without getting caught. Okay. So he calls some Russian doctor, and this guy's like, "Oh, absolutely, we can help you out." And then eventually, at some point, this guy's he's like flying back and forth to Russia, doing all this crazy shit. He's becoming a better athlete, all this stuff, and then the FBI comes like to this guy's door in Russia. He has to fly to America to like keep him safe. It is an all-time documentary, but it just shows how many of the Russians were doping during that time. And it shows
like the levels they went to like forge it.
Yeah.
Jesus. I had one of my profs at when I was in school worked for the Canadian Olympic Committee as a doping control officer, and she told us all the wacky shit that people would try to go through to get through everything. It was so.
What's the craziest thing you heard?
She can't even remember.
Are steroids really that bad? Like you know what I mean? I'm not a steroid. Like, I don't do steroids, but don't look at me like that, Eddie. I mean, there's like free muscle growth. Like, it's not that bad. You know what I mean? It's got this. If you're in the MLB,
it's the baseball thing.
Yeah, if you're in the MLB or like the UFC or something like that, like don't take steroids because you might kill someone or cheat. But like, if you're just a random dude on the street, like, I guess there's some negative health repercussions from it.
No,
but
if you're not competing at a high level, you're just doing it for fun, like realistically, you can do it safely.
That's what I'm saying.
The issue is if you're playing like a high level sport and you're doping, then it becomes like, well, now you're never going to make the show if you're not taking drugs. So then it becomes like now you're forced to do it. That's like it gets to an imbalance point.
That was the big issue in baseball too. Everyone started doping because even the top players, even if all of those players were not doing steroids, the top players would still have been the top players.
Yeah.
The middle tier players would still be the middle.
Just gets pumped up.
Yes, exactly. So that's why it made it so bad at that time.
They should have just let steroids go in baseball. Baseball is so much better than steroids. Just let it happen, dude. There's so many home runs. It's awesome.
Side note: Barry Bonds got screwed. It's a little embarrassing that he didn't make it in.
Well, because of the writers, man.
They're fucking.
David Ortiz got popped for PEDs in 2003, but he's like a nice guy.
Yeah.
This is just from a tweet that I saw, but Alex Rodriguez didn't get, or I think he did get suspended for steroids, but he's kind of a dickhead. He's not going to get in the Hall of Fame. Barry Bonds kind of a dickhead.
Huge
not
head, by the way.
Yeah, I guess
Huge
the attitude.
Roger
the
Clemens
egos,
kind of a dickhead. It's if you're nice to the writers, they'll get you into the Hall of Fame.
I saw there was an article and it was like, sure, the vote Barry Bonds maybe deserves to be in, but the writers are still the best people to vote. And it's like, who wrote that? An MLB writer wrote that article. Seemed kind of biased to say that.
You got wildly sidetracked there.
Yeah, we got into baseball. Talking about baseball. Skippers is going to be
feels good
coming up in February, so keep your eyes out. Let's get back on track here with Zegras with another absurd goal. Is he changing the game? Is he changing the NHL? Because like as a defenseman, you're taught to like protect the crease and not go after the player, and he just completely like exploited that.
I wouldn't say he's changing the game, but it's not the guy who did it first who does it best. Mm-hmm. It's the guy like the guy who does it first doesn't do the best. There's usually someone comes along and like refines that and makes it better. I feel like I don't know. Would you say I'd say Svechnikov? Like the fact that he did it multiple times is insane to me.
Yeah, it was never done once, and then it was done 5 times in one season.
Yeah, what the hell? Yeah. Like Svechnikov is like
crazy.
It's a trailblazer to me, and I think Zegras is just taking that and then building on it.
Zegras makes it look so which is the scary thing.
Yeah. That looks way too easy.
In stride, going behind the net.
Mm-hmm. If it looks like Montreal was not playing defense on that play.
Yeah.
But it's just how fast he was. You can't ever anticipate him doing that. If you make a play on him, you're out of position. Right? Like you're saying,
there's a guy open in front of the net.
You're told not to chase behind the net because you're supposed to keep the crease, but you can't ever anticipate a guy doing that.
Also, Zegras' mindset there, like he has a split second to decide if he's going to try and pull that move.
What an absolute crime that there was no fans in the stands for that.
Yeah. That's insane.
Don't get me started.
Who tweeted
I
about
threw on
that?
a Leafs game and I was like, can't watch this.
That's why you're going up to Ottawa tonight.
I think John Carlson, and the NHL tweeted about Zegras' goal, and Carlson quote tweeted it and went like, and the fans go wild.
That's funny.
I wonder how many people at Torts because of what he said last time. But
do you see Justin Falk was like, I'm not excited to go to Canada.
Oh, that was also another all-time clip was Falk saying that, and then the Flames Twitter
got dusted.
Yeah.
They lost 5-1, right?
It was kind of funny. He was like happy when he said it. He's like, yeah, I'm not excited to fucking go to Canada. Then he got fucked.
Zegras' like highlight tape by the end of his career has got to be just like, it's going to be all time.
He only has he doesn't have many goals this year, and 2 of them are Michigan's.
Yeah.
It's funny.
Crazy.
Would you rather have a sick amount of goals, but say you score 300 goals in your career, or you'd score 210 goals. Would you have 210 goals with sick highlights like Zegras, or just be gritty out front of the net 300 goals in your career at the end of the day?
That's like Brady Tkachuk versus Zegras.
Yeah,
I'd say like Datsuk didn't have a ton of goals either, but he had some of like the best goals of all time. So and Datsuk's a legend, so I'm going that type of guy.
I think you got to go a little farther with that question. Like you'd have to give the 300 guy more because 215, it's too close to the 300 in the sense that let's just say you're I played in the NHL, and then you're showing them these highlights, that's pretty sick.
Who has the most amount of goals and how many goals? It's 800 goals, right?
800 and 80.
Well, I mean, would you rather have 215 and a lot of them are sick, or 300 in a cup? You know what I mean? Now we're talking.
Yeah,
right?
Gretzky 894, so 300, pretty good.
That's good. That's pretty good.
Yeah, I don't know, if you're
but
playing,
Milan Lucic scoring 300 goals, or your Zegras scoring 215.
Yeah.
I don't know. If it's the thing is, though, Zegras is gonna be a playmaker for his career, right? He's gonna be a guy who gets 60 assists, 15 to 25 goals.
Yeah.
And then when he does score, it's because you're anticipating that pass.
I'm going to put it this way. Like, I feel like one Michigan, like one Zegers goal like that is at least worth, like, I don't know, 15 goals. So I'll just say one of those.
They're just
Put
like
a value on it.
like these ratios.
Like, when they make a highlight tape when you retire, like, it'd be pretty sick.
Okay,
The amount of times it gets shows on TSN. That's
I mean,
what the
like,
ratio
I think
is.
a good example is like Bobby Ryan, because Bobby Ryan has some
great call.
bangers
Yeah,
in his career.
absolutely.
The stick one.
Stick one, bro. The one against Nashville where he just like
Unreal.
zoops around two guys like that. But it's like, overall not an outstanding career versus somebody like I think Lucci's is the perfect example of a guy who just happened to bang in a few goals every year.
Yeah.
But like Rick
good
Nash
question.
goals too.
Yeah.
He had some nasty ones, but he's also kind of grinder too.
No,
Yeah.
I agree.
I think Lucic versus Bobby Ryan is like the ideal comparison for that.
That's actually
combo.
really good.
It's a good question. I agree.
Cool.
It really depends on what you want to be known for.
What do you want to be known for, Jerry?
If you gave me a cup, I'd take the 300 goals. If you take away
Those
success,
are two of the better. Those are more goals, and you win a Stanley Cup. That makes sense why you'd take that, right?
No, but then again, you could say, well, you have more goals
Yeah.
for the other one.
True.
Right? It's not technically you're still getting more goals.
That's more of the question. Would you like to have 7?
Would you like to be sick or have 300 goals? Be like a role player?
Yeah.
Not. That's pretty much what we're asking.
Would you take 5 All-Star games or 1 Stanley Cup?
One Stanley Cup.
All-Star games. It's like,
That's a good question.
I think it's like,
though,
I don't know.
too.
It's even like, would you rather be Patrick Marleau playing all the games in the world in like a not really outstanding career, or would you rather have like 5 like Henrik Zetterberg?
I take I'm taking the All-Star games.
Yeah, because
I'm taking the All-Star games. What if you're a fourth liner?
Yeah, what
You
if
have
you're
a cup.
what if you're like a black ace and you get
I don't
Yeah.
care.
All-Star game
Would-
ensures that you're actually a good NHL player.
I would rather have Brian Bickle's career than Patrick Marleau's career.
Really?
Whoa.
Yeah. Three Stanley
What about
Cup.
the money?
Again, there's a balance to it, but I don't know. I feel like Brian Bickle's not a great example because he got a little. I think
Pat
MS.
Maroon.
He got-
Pat- yeah,
Pat
yeah,
Maroon.
Pat
Pat Maroon's the perfect example. Pat Maroon or Patrick Marleau's career.
And take Marleau.
I would take Maroon. Maroon's having a way better time.
He's having
Well, at the end, though, right?
Yeah, he's having fun, but
But I don't know. He played with McDavid. He's hopped around.
we're not going to remember Pat Maroon when he retires.
I will remember Pat Maroon for the rest of my life.
You won't forget Pat Maroon.
I don't know, like people still
You
know.
won't forget him.
People
But,
still know who Esa Tikkanen is.
yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, more like 8-year-old won't remember Pat Maroon.
Correct.
Right? You know what I mean?
agree.
Yeah.
Well, they'll remember
we'll know him because of
Stamkos.
all the social shit that he's
Yeah.
been through. And
We'll remember him because we're fucking,
Way off. That's what I'm for.
Yeah. I want to talk about a segment here, Contenders or Pretenders. I know it's a great fucking name, even though it's just saying it. I want to know if you guys think that these guys are a contender for the cup or a pretender. So Nashville Predators.
Pretender.
Pretender. Yeah, I'm going Pretender. Minnesota Wild.
Contender.
I'm going Contender.
I don't like Mini, but they're playing so. If I don't know, that's a goalie thing for them. If Cam Talbot can keep it up,
Yeah, Cam Talbot, I have zero
he
faith
got
in
he got a little injury. I don't know how long he's out for.
Their
but
backup is pretty
He's
good,
back.
though.
Capo Kakkonen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's just young. It's just more. I think with the Wild, because Talbot's out now, you'll get a better gauge on how they're going to be without him.
Where do you think Kaprizov?
Kaprizov.
Like he fits in the elite guys in the NHL. I think
One of the more underrated players,
Yeah.
I'd say.
I saw a stat. I think it was we were talking about it. The fastest to 100 points. I think he did it in 92 games.
He's
something like that.
he's like the
90
third or fourth
Yeah.
fastest active player to hit that.
Yeah,
I
active
was
player.
I was watching that.
The only thing is he
started.
started his career at 24.
Yeah,
so it's a
he
little-
did start later. He was up.
How
for-
much do you handicap a player that's starting at 24? Do you really penalize him because he hasn't played in the NHL? I don't think it's that big of a deal.
You see
I
it
think
in,
it's a
you
big
see it in
deal.
baseball.
The
You see it in baseball.
Yeah, Cuba, or the Dominican.
I think I don't know, I'm still salty, and there's no reason for me to be salty about this. But Panarin winning the Rookie of the Year,
Yeah, that was
I
fucked.
don't he was 25. He
Yeah.
had 7 years in the KHL. I
was
don't think
bullshit.
a guy like that, over McDavid, who was over point per game. McDavid played 48 points in 45 games in his rookie year. He's the best rookie. You should be
I'm with you
penalized
on
for your
that.
age a little
Yeah.
bit.
I'm with you on that.
We don't really talk. Well, we talk about Kaprizov, but we don't really put him in the conversation as an elite goal scorer. I don't think so. At least the news isn't really pounding, or the NHL isn't really marketing him.
I feel like Minnesota, you don't hear anything about Minnesota at any point. And for years, when was who's the most electric Minnesota Wild player of all time?
Gabrick.
Yeah, I fucking love Marion Gabrick.
With those red jerseys too.
Oh yeah,
the circle logo.
Tinted visor. Love tinted visor.
God damn it.
Who else?
Mikko Koivu.
Mikko Koivu's the opposite of an electric player.
Koivu.
I mean, they have not had that many. I guess Zach Parise and Ryan.
I forget his name.
Ryan
One guy who's from Quebec. He got just derailed by concussions, but he was so good the few years he was playing.
It's tough to
Marc-Andre Bergeron, I think was his name. I'm probably mixing him up with somebody.
Yeah, probably. What about the Pittsburgh Penguins?
Contender.
Yeah,
I hate it.
Pittsburgh.
I hate it.
That's a hard one.
I cannot stand the Penguins. I just hate them so much.
I love Sid. I just love Sid so much.
I love Crosby, but I hate every year. It's okay, this is the year the Penguins are bad, and it's been like that for 8 years almost now.
I saw that stat the other day was Malkin, Crosby, and Letang are the longest tenured 3 players to be on a team of all time.
Jesus.
I was like, that's insane.
I would put them as contender just because of the experience on that team. Mm-hmm. That's the only. Yeah. I don't really like. It's just when you have Crosby, Malkin, Carter. That's a good trio right there.
Trust Jari? What do you think?
He's been outstanding this year.
He's been really good.
Crazy.
He's been really good.
Came over.
Let's talk about the Anaheim Ducks.
No chance. Pretender for sure.
Pretender. I think that team is. I mean, you saw Toronto. They've outshot the shit out of them when they played.
Yeah, John. I've said for so many years I love John Gibson. He's one of my favorite goalies. He's so aesthetic to watch him play because he's just it's I don't know. He's just there's for in the NFL, there's Lamar Jackson's so fun to watch, and then there's just Tom Brady who's just gets it done.
Yeah,
that's how I see John Gibson. He just gets it done.
Watching Gianni watch Andre Vasilevsky was uncomfortable. He was oh my god, he's so good. Look at that movement. Jesus, dude.
Just goalie thing.
I'm going to keep it to myself.
No, you can say it. It's a safe space.
I was going to say, you get a little horned up watching goalies or what?
Absolutely.
God damn it.
LA Kings.
This might be a hot take. I fucking love the Kings this year. Every time I've watched them play, I like to say a team's good by the number of captains you can have on the team. I know that doesn't mean anything, but that's just how I like to go. And they have 4 or 5 guys. They have at least 3 guys that could be captains on other teams, like Dustin Brown, Kopitar, and Doughty, and I just love that. I love that team. They got some good talent.
They need another D-man, though. They cannot run the D-core they're running.
What do you guys think? That's just my hot take. I
don't really understand how this team is winning.
They're always a playoff team, though, because they're just always so, maybe this is just, still me thinking of them from, 8 years ago, I guess, but because they haven't won a playoff round since 2014 when they won a cup, I'm pretty sure. It's the last playoff round they won. But even when they lose in the playoffs, so they'll lose games 2-1, they're just shutting it down.
Yeah.
I don't know. You get Jonathan Quick to the playoffs, you get Doughty and Kopitar to the playoffs, they will make noise.
Yeah, I take the Kings over the Ducks.
Yeah, for sure.
So I think we all agree on that.
Byfield scored.
Yep.
Yeah, Quentin Byfield. Remember when we said our percentage? Looking pretty good right now. First goal. All right. Lastly, let's talk about this hilarious story coming out of Arizona. Talks about moving to Arizona State's arena, right? That's a report, which has 5,000 people. Is this just becoming a laughing stock? This feels like an April Fool's joke. When they put the April Fools and then it's
it's not even this is a hey, our stadium's flooded. We got to go here for the rest of the season. It's no, it's a 4-year lease.
Why did
they're going to be there for years? That's crazy.
Who would want to get drafted to Arizona at this point?
Why didn't they move Arizona to Seattle? Why didn't they just give up? At some point, you just have to give up on Arizona.
Gary Bettman's way too stubborn to admit it failed. He is way too much. Is
Gary Bettman from Scottsdale? Is that the issue?
No.
Is he born there?
I think he's just
probably Canadian.
I think he's just
he probably is Canadian.
Way too. He's sunk they went bankrupt for like the first time in like 2007, and they made Gretzky captain because the league owned the team. I'm like, hey Wayne, like, can you just go be the coach? Or sorry, coach. Just like so we have somebody there. That was 15 years ago, and they have not. They went to the third round once, and nobody just cares about the team still. Like
It was a cool atmosphere though when they made
it was fun.
But Mike Smith was their goalie.
Oh yeah, he was
so
insane
good
in those playoffs.
Yeah.
The worst thing that's ever happened to Arizona is Austin Matthews because they can just use that as a scapegoat. It's like, I know Arizona sucks, but we made the best player in the NHL right now, so you got to keep us around.
And the hype is always like, he's going to come here. He's going to come here.
There's no chance.
If Matthews gets to his last year and he goes to free agency and doesn't sign with Arizona, that is the one. That's when the league has to say, okay,
we're done.
Now we're actually done. Now we can't get Austin Matthews to go play for his home team.
Do you think he would ever even consider playing in front of 5,000 people? Like, not a chance.
I was thinking the same thing. Like, I think he'd rather go play for the Habs than play for Arizona at this point.
Dude.
Oh my God.
Wouldn't you think so?
They're going to get, the bonus is that the media doesn't give a shit about their hockey team. So him going from Toronto to Arizona would be a huge change in culture. But you got to think, like, this is just kind of getting a little embarrassing for the team. The players got to be a little embarrassing. Players are now speaking out on it. Brad Marchand made some comments about these issues. Why is he always in the news now? Like, out of left field.
He's becoming a likable guy.
I hate that.
Yeah, he said that he was a Leaf fan growing up. Like, I feel like he's got a new quote like every day now.
Taylor Hall absorbed all his like shitty energy. That's like Taylor Hall goes to a team, absorbs all the shit, and then leaves. That's a specialty.
What did he say? I didn't even see
He said they'll have to still give like 4,500 tickets out, something like that.
So the average AHL attendance is over 5,000 fans. So it's like these guys are going to be playing at an AHL game.
Is it actually that high?
Yeah.
Go put the Coyotes in Hartford, Connecticut or something. Like, fuck.
They just need to relocate.
Houston's the big spot for them, apparently.
Yeah,
apparently Houston's been like hungry. Houston was the second team bidding for the Seattle expansion.
Really?
God, that would be so weird.
I feel like
Rockets fans don't even show up for basketball.
Mm-hmm.
How did Arizona get a team in the first place? Like, what was the appeal?
It's a rich area. A lot of wealthy people there.
I don't know.
It's also like a relocation spot too for people from the Northeast.
There's a lot of the Arizona fans that exist. My understanding is the team, like, it's like with the Sens, where people in Ottawa like the Sens, but they put the arena in the middle of nowhere and you can't get to it. And apparently, like, if you work downtown Arizona, it's like a 50-minute drive to get to that stadium. Mm-hmm. So it's
stupid.
They keep on fumbling. They can't just put the arena downtown. Like, where do the Suns play? Put them in the same place.
Yeah.
It should be that easy.
Is the easy answer not just get another Canadian team because there's the demand? Like Winnipeg, put a team in. They're fine in attendance, right?
Are
they bad?
They have their stadium holds 15,000 people.
Yeah, it's easy to sell out every night.
They sell out pretty much every game, but it's 15,000 people.
Better than what Arizona's
What would
doing.
be the options in Canada?
Another one in Quebec.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Priority.
Quebec City, right?
Do you think they could put one out east in like Newfoundland or something like that?
I think it would just be so hard to get to for the other teams.
They wouldn't have
travel in the
The only thing is,
the capacity would be an issue.
They're not going to put a team somewhere that already has fans. Cities that already support like teams. Mm-hmm. It's like in Newfoundland, there's like long established Leafs, Habs, and Bruins fans.
Yeah.
Like, they're not, if you put a team in Halifax, they're not going to cheer for Halifax now. They're like, no, I'm a Leaf fan.
Yeah.
Yeah, right?
Do you think Saskatchewan? Like, cause I really don't know.
To be honest,
there's a team in Winnipeg. What's a team in
I don't think the province of Saskatchewan has enough people to support a team.
Hey.
We got Babcock.
The Riders have a huge stadium, I'm pretty sure, don't they?
Yeah. Yeah, but the Rider Nation's a whole other breed.
Fair. Why do we think they couldn't do it for a hockey team though?
I think they could. Like, if you just get a dedicated group of fans, like, there's literally nothing to do in Saskatchewan but watch sports, pretty much.
Actually, wait. I'm pretty sure the Blues were supposed to move to Saskatoon. That was a thing.
Really?
In like the 70s or 80s, they were gonna move to Saskatoon.
It'd be interesting.
Like, I would hate to be drafted there. But
Yeah.
Insane to me that they just keep packing teams in California. There's so many like professional sports teams in California.
So we went to we were in California at the start of this month, and obviously the Kings were there, and I was like, oh, the Ducks. Like I didn't really understand where Anaheim was. I know they call the Angels of Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim. I was like, oh fuck, I didn't realize it was close. The Ducks play fucking 20 minutes away, like another team, like
from the Kings.
Yeah, like
Jesus,
it's not that far at all. It's like holy fuck, like Toronto can't even get that for a huge sports market.
Yeah, I'm actually surprised there. I wonder if that actually has something to do with what Gianni's saying of how hardcore, like the Canadian market is, and like fans. I don't know, like everyone in Canada, like.
Yeah, Blackberry.
Yeah, so
Hamilton.
the reason
right?
they didn't give it to
Silly.
Hamilton is because Hamilton falls between Buffalo's and Toronto's purview. So both those teams blocked it, saying, no, Hamilton people support one of our teams already. You can't do that.
You can't tell me if they put a team in Hamilton, people like, man, the Leafs have been like haven't won a playoff round forever. If they just put a team in Hamilton right now, I feel like you get crazy low.
No,
You put a team in Hamilton
you would
with
get
cheaper
people
tickets
to
than the
go.
Leafs.
No,
They
yeah.
go.
The issue is that would happen, and the Leafs and Sabres lose fans, and they lose money. That's the argument.
So MLC gets fucked over.
Yeah, so it's MLSE and the Sabres owners complain, but like nobody in Anaheim cares about hockey. So they said, okay, whatever, we can put a team there because there's nobody loyal to the Kings.
Yeah.
That's what happens with it.
There's also a shit ton of people in California.
It's crazy
there's a
though,
lot of
like,
people.
I don't know, for football, like the fact they moved the Rams and the Chargers like in the same year was disgusting. I can't believe that move.
For the Midwest, my fellow Midwesterners, St. Louis gets fucked for that.
Insane.
Too bad.
They got a Stanley Cup though. They got, that's enough. That's a payback for them.
It's enough. All right, let's wrap things up here. Thanks for watching. Make sure you like, comment. Episode 16, episode 17 next week. We're in office. See you guys next week.